I never really had a clear plan for my life, and for a long time I thought that this was a problem. But somehow that worked better than I expected. Right after school, I just picked whatever was available. I chose university just because there were free spots, not because I knew what I wanted, and I didn't really enjoy it. Lectures felt pointless, studying felt forced. I was just there because it felt like the default option. But at the same time, I started working. The first place that hired me, that was the warehouse. Night shifts, carrying boxes, loading trucks. I wanted to start working because I had this thought that hard things will motivate me. If I make my life harder, I will push myself to do something better. I will push myself at university. But something else happened. It just became normal. The job just became normal. I remember standing there at night, carrying those boxes and thinking, this probably isn't what I want long term. But I still kept going. Work, sleep, and repeat. At first, it felt temporary, but after some time, I stopped questioning it. And that's when I noticed that almost everyone around me was saying the same thing, that I won't stay here forever, but most of them were still there years later. I remember seeing that in the office in dialogue between Michael and Jim, but now I saw this happening with me in real life. And I remember thinking, how does that happen? How do you end up somewhere you never planned to stay? Around the same time, another random thing happened. I met my girlfriend. I was living in a dorm at the time we met, but within a week, we rented an apartment and we started living together. No plan, no analysis, we just tried it. And somehow, that worked. We're still together 8 years later. And looking back, that wasn't unusual. That's how most of my decisions happened. I didn't try to find the perfect option, I didn't overthink everything. I just moved, tried something, and saw what happens. After a little over a year, I left the warehouse, and I thought, now I will do something better. I started learning programming because it seemed like the right path. But I remember sitting in front of the screen, stuck on some small bugs for hours, and thinking that if this is the job, I don't actually want it. That was before all those AI tools, but the situation confused me, because I thought this is what I'm supposed to want. At that point, my savings were running out, side projects didn't work, I was trying to resell some clothes, try to build websites or some different things, but nothing was really working. I already have a video about that if you want to check. I was really close to going back to the same place that I just left. And then something random happened again. I got a call from a company I didn't even remember applying to. They offered me a paid internship. I didn't plan any of this, I didn't aim for it. It just kind of happened. That's how I got into IT. I had no experience, no degree, and no clear direction. Just trying something different again. I remember getting my first tasks and realizing this is actually easier than I expected. Things that felt simple to me were difficult for others. Because my whole childhood I spent with computers, trying things and learning how to fix what's not working. And for the first time, I felt like maybe I'm actually good at something. After some time, I got more responsibilities, better offers, but at the same time, something else was growing. Since this was just the internship, I wasn't sure that I will be able to stay there for long, so I was building something on the side. And that felt different. It wasn't stable, it wasn't predictable. Sometimes I didn't make money at all, but it felt like progress. And I noticed the same pattern again. Every job eventually became normal. That made me think maybe the job isn't the problem. Maybe it's just what happens when you stay in one place for too long. So at 21, I had a great job, good salary, good team, real opportunities. I didn't plan any of this, it just happened again. I could see exactly how my life would look if I stayed. Stable, predictable, safe. And that wasn't a bad life. That's what made it difficult. Because part of me wanted to stay, but another part of me wanted to see what happens if I don't. So when I got the option to extend the contract, I just said no. Not because I had to, but because I wanted to try something else. And looking back now, it's strange how everything connects. Things that felt random at the time later made sense. Even some small decisions that didn't seem important ended up changing something bigger. I wouldn't say I had a plan, but I also don't think that it was completely random. Somehow, things just kept leading to the next step, and that helped me later, because when things started falling apart, I wasn't as worried. I had already seen that even messy situations can lead somewhere, and usually you only understand it after it's already happened. I never really had a clear plan, I just didn't stay still long enough to get stuck. Most of what I'm doing now comes from this exact mindset, trying things, seeing what works. So if that's something that looks interesting to you, you can stick around